Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Words of Salongo. I and I Reasoning, we're back again, another Sunday. Today is the 19th of the 5th, 2024. Time is flying, man. Time waits for no one, as they say. 12 days left before the end of the month. Excuse me, I'm got some serious coughing, man. I just came back from the sauna. I'm taking some mints, but it's the change in the weather here. It's the pollen, I think, is what is affecting me. I don't really normally get hay fever, but definitely the coughing has been disturbing me for the last couple of weeks. So been here in the sauna just to get the things out of my system. But anyway, such is life, eh? We continue on the journey as it is. So hope everyone's blessed and highly favored. Welcome back to another session. Always changing things up, as you can hear. Learning and growing, that's what life's about. Always trying to do something different, and change is important, isn't it? So, but as you know, I always kick off with like what the things I've done for the week and how things have gone for me and stuff like that. And the gym plays a very important part in my life, you know. So we definitely call it my wife, you know. She's there, she's always supportive and very motivating, encouraging and empowering me to elevate and level myself up. So that's why I always go to the gym. It's so important to me. It's not for everybody, but it works for me, so I'm happy with that. So my previous week, I have certain challenges that I set myself to do, and one of the challenges, I'm using the rowing machine to get back to my previous record that I set, which was 21 minutes and 55 seconds. That's my personal best. So I'm building back myself up because of the long break we had. So my previous record the previous week was 22 minutes and 24 seconds. And this week I've improved on it. It's 22 minutes and 14 seconds. So that's a big 10 seconds difference. However, I expected to do much better. I won't lie to you. In this one, when I was pushing myself, I thought I was a bit disappointed, even though I've improved. I thought I was going to get better results because I put the work in, yeah, which I still did good. Don't get me wrong. 10 seconds is still quite impressive. However, what it is, the work is getting harder and harder to get back to where I was. That's the challenge. And the progress, we're getting there slowly. So next week I have to challenge myself again to look forward to be in that 14 seconds now, you know. So we're looking at the bigger picture and we're just trying to knock off seconds by seconds, you know, until we get down to that 22 minutes. Then we've got 5 seconds from there. And then looking forward to be in that 55 seconds. So if I can beat that 55 seconds, that'll be a personal best. So that's our challenge. And what I've done as well, I've increased my training to, normally I do 3 days a week. I've taken it to 5 days. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So let me leave it there, and then I'll explain what my conversation is going to be about a bit later on. Mum's improving, by the way. She's getting there. Started to walk a bit more, because remember a couple of weeks ago she couldn't really step on the leg. However, she's gone back to her habits. I can't judge, man. That's that's what one of my conversation today is going to be about the mind and stuff like that. Each to their own, you know what I mean? So it's a personal thing that you have to do on this road called life, you know. So I did say to her, look, you've gone back to some of the things you're doing, but if a person is used to certain things, then that's how it is, you know what I mean? As I said, I'm only here to uplift, empower, and use my mom's word, encourage people to make informed choices. It's the journey is an individual journey, and I come on here to empower myself and to encourage myself in the best way I can. And that's why I do the things that I do. The consistency, because that's the key in anything you do, is to be consistent, and out of that you will grow and you will learn. So that's what my show's about. It's Temple of Know Thyself, I and I reasoning. It's a thought that I've managed to manifest into this realm, into this reality, into this universe that we live in. And it's a personal thing, isn't it? So along the way, whoever you can help, you can help. However, it still comes back down to you. It's about you making a choice for yourself. Yeah, so that's it, man. Mum's doing her journey, I'm doing my journey, and it's for us to learn from each other. And that's what life's about. So apart from that, my work is cool. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying it. Give thanks. Give thanks for everything, man. You always say give thanks. You know? Give thanks for life. Give thanks for children, family, friends, and so forth. My children are cool. I've just been speaking to them. My son, he had some exams last week. He got some exams this week. And I spoke to him and encouraged him, and it was time to relax. Because these are his A levels he's taken. Whatever results he gets will dictate where he goes from here. You know, so just tell him, just chill out, man. Whatever you do, you know, do to the best of your ability. Sorry about that. Do to the best of your ability. So I wish him all the best. But apart from that, he's cool, man. He's cool. The rest of the twins, they're cool as well. Just chatting to them, finding out about how they're doing with school and how life is in general, you know. Just catching up with them and stuff like that. But apart from that, all is cool, man. As I said, we give thanks for life and the things that we have and how we can move forward. So appreciate that, man. I was debating with some people and having some conversation about some of the things that we have in life, the challenges that we have, and how to deal with some of the challenges that we have. And it's down to your perspective, really, how you look at things. For me, I broke my fast today. I'm doing intermittent fasting. I've given myself a challenge for the next 8 weeks. I'm going to be challenging myself. Every year I do something. Like I normally do like fasting or a cleansing or I give up something, or that's me, who I am. I think it's good to do things like that. It allows the mind to grow and expand because of the things that we program ourselves with, our surroundings, the people, the things we watch. And that's what I want to talk about, really, about our mindset and what we can do to help ourselves or to change our outlook. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, by the way. It's a challenge. And challenges can do two things to you. It can either make you grow or you just stay the same. And you have to decide what you want to do as an individual. I was saying to somebody that, and I heard it from somebody as well. We allow people to live in our mind rent-free. Meaning that we take on other people problems and issues, and they're living in our mind and not paying no rent. And we have a choice. We have a choice to change that narrative if we want to. And that's why I'm doing the challenge for me personally, because I know I can and I'm willing to change. And I'm going to show how easy it is to be influenced by our surrounding and people around us. So that's why I've taken this personal challenge, and I'm going to document it, which is that 8 weeks of me training, which you see on YouTube. But I have a personal goal I want to achieve. The next 8 weeks, which is 2 months, by the end of July, the goal is to lose at least 1 pound a week, which is 8 pounds, which that's what I said, the 8 weeks. So that's the personal goal that I'm challenging myself with. And I'm willing to do the things that I'm doing now. Changing my eating habits, the fasting, and studying, reading certain books. So far this year, I've managed to get 2 books done. Every year, I try to do at least a book. I mean, many of us we won't do that, you know. But I just want to change the narrative, you know. I want to do something different. So it could be, as I said, for everybody's different, isn't it? For me, I try to do a book at least 1 book a year, minimum. I have got no excuse not to do that. That's my personal goal. And change something about myself, or elevate to the next level something about myself. And that's where the fitness came in. Because I told myself from last year that I'm going to enjoy myself November, December, because I knew I was going to go travel February to March. I'm going to enjoy myself, socialize, eat what I want, drink. However, when I come back, I'm going to discipline myself. And that's the programming I'm in now. And it's weird because I'm in the program, as I said, and I'm leveling up every so often because I've set a certain target that I want to do, and it's about reprogramming the mind. So for me, that 8-week challenge is going to be challenging, but I'm willing to accept it and work on it, because I know at the end of that 8 weeks, it's the journey, number one, and I know I'm going to look a certain way, And as I said, you will see it because every time I train, I record it, and you can see the different phases that I go through. And I'm just being an example. At the end of this 8 weeks, you will see, and then you can use that, because I want to explain something that when I was at university, I studied applying social studies, which is basically like a social scientist. We're allowed to work in youth work, social work, anything to do with a social environment. Yeah. So we study different books, and we do like role play, like there's a listener, an observer, and the benefit of going to university, it's just a fancy title, but you're able to learn certain things that they're taught you. I remember they teach you they give you a specific type of books to read, because they want you to go in a certain direction. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying about, we are programmed in a way to have a certain outcome, whether it be unconsciously or consciously. Yeah. Because our environment, to some extent, dictates our thinking. Yeah. So when I use the example that having a conversation with my mum, she says, and shows you how easy it is to be influenced by other people, and I'm making you aware of it, that we do it unconsciously. So my mum now says to me, you should use the word encourage. So you'll hear me now say these things in my show, because the environment that I'm in and the character of the person that I am will adapt to some of those things, whether it be negative or positive. It just is. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So you'll hear me. I've started the conversation. When I start this conversation in the beginning, encourage, you hear me saying my son, encourage, upliftment, empowerment. You understand? I've adapted to some of my mum's terminology, even though we disagree. I say, a Guyanese saying, teeth must bite tongue. Being the person that I am, because I'm a seeker of knowledge and wisdom, I would use that information. So in other words, I would take certain people's tools to, here's the word I'm going to use now, to encourage me, you see, so I can elevate. And I'll use my word to empower me so I can grow. So it's the same thing with your mind. If you take the time out, and this is the challenge, this is what makes you that 1%. If you take the time out, and that's what I said, these were the university, I can apply some of that experience and the theory, and I'm going to be practical with it now. Yeah, I'm applying the theory and I'm being the practical, because I don't like theory too much. That's why I don't like reading that much. I like the audio side, so I would listen more to it. But I'm more of a practical person, so that's why you hear me speaking, doing the recordings and stuff like that. I like that side. To sit here and read a book to you, to me, it's not my style. I don't like to use the word boring. It's just a different way of learning. However, through the things that I'm practically doing, I can relate from the studies, from the books I've listened to, or the places I've been, or using people's experience. I can take that theory and put it into the practical. So the 8 weeks challenge for me is the practical side. To say that, okay, for the last 4 months, wherever it was, I enjoyed myself. Now, these next 3 months, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to put the theory with the practical and then you'll see. That's why I do these recordings. So my children and other people can see it because it's here. I'm going to practice what I preach. That's what I've been doing. That's why I've been recording it and showing you the struggles and the challenges, because we have our own journey. Some people, even family and friends, you're going to have to leave it. I mean, you hear these proverbs in all different type of books and from conversation with other people. Some people you have to leave behind. So you can't stay there and be stuck arguing with someone, because I said from a distance you can't tell who the fool is. So you leave the person, not in a bad way. You love everybody, you know. However, on this particular journey, that person can't come with you. So you take their, here's that word again, encouragement, their wisdom, yeah, to elevate you to the next level. Because what happened, I had the intention and I was doing it, and then my mom got sick. So what I've done, I used her experience to up my game a bit more now. Yeah, because I was going to do it anyway. But along the journey, I met somebody, and that person was told about their health. And I said, okay, come with me. And the person said, no, I'm going to do my own thing. I tried, and I realized, no, I can't really. That person has to make their choice. But that person allowed me to elevate now to the next level, because now I've introduced the fasting. So now I'm going to stretch myself a bit more further. This comes back to about reprogramming the mind. This is where I talk about the propaganda and the Freud, the psychologist, psychoanalysis. When I first started these programs about the ego and stuff like that, I looked at myself, and the difficulty we have is the ego takes over sometime, and then we have to learn to take a step back. Yeah, we take a step back. That's what I said a couple of weeks ago. My back was hurting me because I'm losing the weight, and the exercise that I'm doing, I could get away with it because my technique wasn't that good, because I was bigger, so I can throw my body around. However, as the weight is coming off, my body can't do that. I can't do that anymore. I can't get away with just being reckless like that. So I injure myself. So I have to control the ego. I have to look at my technique and lower the weight. Just change. I have to be in the present. I have to take a step back and remember that we talked about the poem last week. The race is never for the strongest or the swift. It's who's willing to endure. Who's willing to, that story about the turtle and the hare. It's not. The race is never for the swift. It's about you taking your time but being consistent. That's the key. Being consistent, looking at ways of how to achieve what you want to do. You understand? And learning as we're growing. So changing the mindset. So since my mom's issue has started, I'm just showing you how my mind is working. Since my issue has started, I only fasted for the Friday. I said I'll take part with you, and then from then I've increased it to 2 days and then 3 days. Now I do a week. Some days, with this last week, I'll do I won't eat on a Sunday, and I'll break it on a Monday at 6:30. Yeah. Now, last week I did it. I keep changing it up. So this week moving forward, I've ate today, but now I've decided that's why I'm implementing the 8-week challenge for myself, because I'm analyzing myself, and I'm like, okay, tweet here, tweet there, and I'm telling the story that you can do the same, but you have to say be still and know that you are God. Like, just analyze yourself. You can do it. Yeah. And then you just move things around. So for this week, what I'm going to be doing, of Monday to Friday, I will be breaking my fast at 6:30. Saturday and Sunday, well, Saturday I eat whatever I want to eat within moderation. I'm still like, because I feel empowered, because I've done a week and a bit. I feel empowered, so I'm not just going to go and eat anything, Yesterday I broke my fast about 2:30. Yeah, but I'm entitled on a Saturday to basically eat what I would consider to be like more spoiled food, indulgent food. So you can have like chips if you want to, for example, or sandwiches. Because remember, during the week I don't really eat sandwiches. So I had a cheese roll, and lentil crisps. So instead of buying normal crisps, I buy lentil crisps. I look for more healthier option, because now the mind is in that program mind of like, oh, he wants to do something better. So I become more aware. But it took about a week and a bit for me to get in that mindset. And now I've got into that mindset. It's like the man who builds his house on sand and the rock. I'm building on a rock now. I'm building a foundation, and then that foundation allows me now to grow a bit more further. So this Monday onwards now, I'll be fasting, breaking my fast every day at 6:30. Yeah. Then the following week we're gonna just play around, see, maybe we do like a month, we'll maybe not eat on a Sunday and then break it on a Monday at 6:30. But moving forward from now, it's always going to be 6:30. That's the goal within the 8 weeks, because we're expanding ourselves. We're gradually, but we're taking baby steps. Same like me trying to break my rowing record. I know it's at 21:55. We see the big pictures, but we're just taking baby steps to get into that. So as I said, the time is coming down slowly, but we're working and we're improving, So I'm reprogramming the mind, because this journey, it's just me by myself. However, I'm not rushing, so I'm gonna look for different ways. Because when I'm at the gym, I'm like, okay, what are the best exercises I can do? Because now I have to change what I'm doing. So when I'm doing that, I'm doing research on the internet, and I find some of the exercise I can do and change the weight, the heavy weight. And I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And the last week now, I've created a program. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tweet it here, tweet it there. Yeah. And it's going to give me the same result as me if I was doing heavy. Yeah. Because now I'm feeding the mind good information, just like eating food, innit? You take the best and then you throw away the rest. You get me? The same when you have conversation with people. Same like you listening to my show. You take out what's relevant, and what's not relevant, you throw away. That is normal. I said I've picked up the good things from my mum, but the other things I'm like, yeah, I love you, but those things are not for me. So I will use the word encouragement. However, I will not take part in some of the eating lifestyle, because I can see the detriments of it. And we're all like that. We all pick and choose what we want to listen to or eat or say or do. You understand? So that's why I said this is me starting having this conversation with myself, because I listen back to these recording and to encourage people. Here's my mom's word, because I'm in her environment. To encourage and empower people to make informed choices about how to deal with challenges and issues that you have in your life, how to overcome them. This is just my way of giving a perception of how I do things, how I understand it. Yeah? Doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. I'm just showing you that how my mind is thinking and reasoning. Yeah? And how I'm willing to look at things and use my environment around me to put me to the next level, push me to, or encourage me to the next level. There's my mom's word again. take what's relevant and discard what's not relevant for me. So I know, and I will do that in the next, and as I said, you will see in the next 8 weeks. That's the program. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy. It's the same like doing that rowing machine. Imagine last week I thought I did good. Yeah? Now some weeks you're going to be stagnated. Same like when you stand on the scale. The first couple of weeks you're going to lose weight, and then it's stagnated. However, you have to keep going. So the same with the rowing machine. Looking forward to beating 22:14 seconds. It's going to be hard because I upped my level last week and I thought I was going to do good. So imagine I have to up my level again. Yeah. So it shows you that you're going to have to keep pushing yourself. Oh, to get where you want to be. That's what that 1% is about. It's about being in those, what you call elite. And that comes only from you. Only you. And I'm encouraged, I'm empowered, and I'm up for the challenge, even though I know it's going to be challenging. Because the thing about it, I know I can do it. So I'm using my past experience. That's one important thing for me, because I took pictures of me before, what I look like, and it's in me. That's the thing about it. I know myself. I knew the previous person who I was when I was really dedicated to my training. And you let go of yourself, which is normal. And then some people, it takes time to get back to where you are. Some people don't get back to where they are. And those who choose to go back to themselves and say, okay, look, I've got a foundation, of who I am. So it could be, I'm using the gym. But you could have been a very assertive person, a very strong person, a very successful person. And somehow you let yourself go. You become very stressed. You're depressed. So you go back to the time when you knew about who you were, and you use that as a foundation that rocked, and then you build up on that rock. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going back to using that past experience to be in the present, because I can't live in the past. Because when I look at myself now, I'm not like the past. But I know I've done it before. And if I've done it before, I can do it now. However, I know it's going to be challenging. So if I'm a hard worker and I let myself go, I'm still a hard worker. I've just let myself go. However, that hard work is still within myself. So it's finding that hard person within myself to bring it out, to elevate me to the next level. And that's what I'm doing. Because remember, I said we're all influenced by our surrounding. So why can't I be influenced by the person who I was before I am where I am now? So we're influenced by books, podcasts, YouTube, TV, family and friends, whether it be positive or negative. We are all influenced by somebody. So why don't I find the positive influence? So as my mom said, encourage myself that I can go a bit more better in life. I can change. I can do things. Whatever challenges you're having in life, use your previous experience in the present moments you're in, so you can go to the next level. So as I'm going through the challenges, I do feel empowered. I feel enlightened, especially when you're fasting. You're aware of, you become more conscious about your surrounding. There's something about when you're fasting, it just, I don't know. if it's well, they say you become more spiritual. You come more at peace with yourself. You're able to pick up other energy, because when you eat, you're using energy, isn't it? And when you're not eating, the energy is there. So you're able to pick up on other people's vibration and stuff like that. You become more, what's the word I'm looking for? To become more in tune with your surrounding. Because that energy is within you. Normally you use that energy out, in it. And so when are you keeping that energy in you? That energy is like, okay, you can pick up other things. It's like iron sharpen iron, isn't it? So it's that same concept. Energy can pick up other energy, and it's how you respond when that energy comes. Is it a positive or negative thing? I find I become more in tune, and I listen, and I use that wisdom I hear within myself to say, okay, I can do it. I know it's going to be challenging. I know that next 8 weeks is going to be challenging. And I'm saying to myself, however, in 8 weeks' time, you can look back and say, yeah, I did it. I knew I could do it. And I didn't have to believe in myself. I know I could do it. And that's the journey I'm willing to take. I was in the sauna and I was talking to a man, and he said to me that the doctor said he was diabetic, high blood pressure, he had all the stuff. And he said he had to change. So he went for a checkup again, and he cut out. He likes all these sweet food. He said he changed. He said he's good now. His blood pressure is down. You know, he wanted to. I said, "You want to live?" He said, "Yeah." And he's saying that the doctor said that there are only few people like him. There's only few people who are willing to change. There's not a lot. And that's why you can't convince people to change. You have to be the example. You have to do it. And that's why I said, I'm going to do it, because I know I can. I'm not hoping, I'm not praying, I'm not wishing. No, I know I can. And I will show you. And hence why I do these recordings, and because it's a form of evidence. You will see the change. I record myself training. Tomorrow I'm going back to the gym. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm learning. I said, sometime I can't push the heavy weights. I can't do it. No, because I don't want to injure myself. Yeah, I don't want to injure myself. So I have to put the ego down, because I want to be in this journey, you know. I want to go along this journey and learn and develop and learn more about myself and become a better person. And to be content. When I started the show, when I came back, I said, I'm content. I don't want to lose myself, you know. You don't allow the ego to just, the ego is there. I said, all the books and things we listen to, it's all within us. I am an aspect of you. If you listen to the show, there's something that you resonate with. So you take what you can resonate with, and you use it to encourage yourself. As I said, look, here's that word I've adapted because the kind of person I am, because of my mentality, and because I want to learn. I will be encouraged by positiveness. So if someone is telling me something, and I can relate with it, I will use it. I don't mind, or it can use me so I can change my thoughts and my way of thinking. Because this is Temple of Know Thyself. That's the concept I was explaining to my mum. The concept is to know yourself. It's not for me to tell you to know yourself. It's for you to take what you need. Just like good food. Take the best nutriments, and then that's what we call it. We shit out the rest. Because the man that knows everything knows nothing at all. African proverb. So each one teach one. Yeah. Remember how I said that we can learn from every situation, whether it be someone who's got bad eating, drugs, alcohol, relationship, business, mental health, whatever it is. You can look at somebody, if you're wise enough, and say, I don't want to be like that person, or that person has taught me something that can better my life. And that's the whole concept of Temple of Know Thyself and I reasoning. It's just a way of me just articulating myself, keeping a diary of myself. Yeah, because what I'm speaking about here is practical, but I do it. I stopped writing my diary because every time I went gym, I wrote gym, what I did, and how I felt. All I've done now is taken the theory and make it into a practical. That's why I said it's not about the like, because I've been doing this before the internet. I've been training for about since I was about 18. But I have seasons, there's a season for everything, isn't it? There's a season I was excellent. There's a season I'm like, I'm not doing nothing. However, most of my friends and associates know me that every year I do something where it's no alcohol, celibacy, or training, or fasting, or I'm always constantly challenging myself. My friend said to me, "What are you doing this year?" A couple of weeks ago, I said I'm training for 3 months. So far, we're 19 days in. No alcohol. So to the best of my abilities, for the next 8 weeks, I would do my best not to have no alcohol. Because remember, our environment sometimes will dictate. So if my friend invites me out from the weekend to go somewhere as a party, your environment could dictate. So ideally, I don't want to go nowhere. Yesterday, I had to go and help somebody do some work. Yeah, they were moving and stuff like that. There was alcohol there. Didn't take part. You understand? However, it's not always going to be like that. Because somebody might have a birthday party and they invite you and there's alcohol around. I'm like, shit, I don't really want to do the alcohol. But like, let me have one drink. And one drink leads to 2 drinks. Yeah? The person bought drinks and I was like, yesterday I was like, nah, I'll skip. It was easy to get out that one day, but it's not always going to be like that. But you just have to be conscious and aware of the environment that you're in. So it all comes down to you. It depends on how you want it. So that's why I'm pushing myself and putting myself on a higher heights for the next 8 weeks. Because I want to show you in 8 weeks' time. Because we spoke about this from last year, from the start of the year. I've been saying, you guys, when I come back, because I was in Uganda, when I come back, I'm going to be preparing to put myself in a position where I have to start, losing the weight, put on some serious belly, you know what I mean? And I know that we're getting more mature. And I don't want to be carrying that weight with me. The only thing about me cutting down, because I'm a big guy, is sometimes I don't like. I don't like looking smaller than I am. But then again, I have to put the ego aside because it's about my health, isn't it? I like being big. So when you cut, you lose some of that bulk. Yeah? You look more slimmer. So that's why I always fight with myself. I don't want to look like that. But no, we've decided we're going to go with a slim look for this year. So that's the journey we're on. So that's what I really want to talk about, the mindset. If you have something, go after it. Whatever challenges you're going through, you can overcome it. If you want to get a better job, or you want to get into a better relationship, or you want to upskill yourself, it's the same thing I said to my son, relax. Just relax, take a deep breath and just, prepare, have a vision on what you want. Do your work, do your studies. Put yourself in that frame of mind and the answer will come to you. Because I was like, how am I going to do these programs? I was saying to myself, how am I going to create a program that's going to work for me with this particular training? And I was just experimenting and doing bam, the program came. Now I have choices of how am I going to, So be still and the answers will come to you. Just start the journey. And that's why you hear me mention these books like The Compound Effect. Yeah, the compound effect is when you start something, the compound effect is an effect positive, like when you throw a pebble in the water. So when you start to do something, I don't want to use the word positive. When you start to do something, let's use our mom's word, you encourage yourself. There's more positive aspect that comes out of that encouragement. Because for me, doing the gym, you start looking after your health. That's a positive thing. You start taking care of yourself. You start feeling confident. Your clothes change, yeah? Your shoulders are back, chest is out. People start saying, you look different. You walk different. You talk different. You act different. Because that's the positive effects from the work that you're doing. So you start, that's what I'm saying about that when you throw the pebble. There's different things that comes out of it. So whatever challenges that you're going through, it could be work, as I said, family, children, I don't know, finance, just want to upskill yourself. It can be done, but it comes back to your mentality, your environment, your surrounding, yeah? What you're listening to and what you're studying has an impact on you. That's why I'm saying, look, just from that conversation with my mom, here's the word that you hear me, encouragement. Because I allowed my mind and my mentality to say, okay, let me utilize that word. Remember, your job as a person to grow is to take the best from what one person has so you can become better. So if you've got a personal trainer, you utilize, let me use the word that my mentor says to me. Utilize what you have around you to the best of your ability. The word is utilize. So if you're listening to me, utilize my information to the best of your ability, then you apply it to yourself. What is relevant so you become a better version of yourself. I know I will become a better version of myself. And that's where you, again, here's another, an ideology or philosophy, that book says, the 10,000 hours. It's about you put in something and you'll get something. Isn't it the same thing in the Bible? You reap what you sow. So if you put something in that is good, you will get something good back in return. That is what we call life. If you plant poison, you will get poison. If you plant goodness, you will get goodness. So if you go about planting an idea of the next 8 weeks of what you want, and you're willing to put the work in, you will succeed. So come along with me on this particular journey, and we shall see. And you go on your journey, and you will see what you want or what you plant is what you will reap. It tells you in the Bible, and you go and ask any farmer, if they plant wheat, they don't get oranges, they get wheat. Yeah? So for the week ahead, plant your seeds on what you want. So it will manifest in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks or months what you want. If you want to change your life or your mentality, you have to do it. Weed up the old things around you and plant new things. As I said, I've come here, love my mum. She eats different food from me. I eat different food. We're in the same environment, but I've chosen to plant different things. Yet we live under the same roof. So we have choices. I just take the best nourishment from her because she's the old broom that knows all the old corners, and I'm the new broom that we move fast. You know what I mean? You can learn from both because we're using the old experience to say, well, in this new world that we live in, we are a bit more advanced and aware of some of the things that you're doing. And as they say, my generation, if you look after themselves, which is a fact, we're living longer. Because technology and the information's out there that makes you aware and enable you, here's the word, to make informed choices. Yeah? So it's for you to choose wisely on what you want, what you listen to, what you don't listen to, and what you want to plant in your mind, which is like the farmer planting. If you plant rubbish, you get rubbish out. If you plant good, you will get good out. So plant what you want in your mind, in your intentions. That's what I'm doing. You're reprogramming. Remember, we're always being programmed. You have to remember that. We're constantly being programmed. So it's better you program yourself, or someone else will program you. So that's what today's show is about. Just about you changing your mindset on what you want and how you see yourself. Where do you want to be? How are you going to get there? And when are you going to start? I've started already. I'm just on the journey. That's what I said. It's weird being in the present and being able to reflect on the past and then come back to the present. Because I can't live in the past. I'm in the present. So I've already done 2 weeks, of this particular journey. And I'm looking forward to the next 8 weeks. God's spirit and everything goes well. I'm still around. However, I'm willing to go forth and take on the challenges and keep elevating myself so I can become a better version of myself. So that's it. That's my session for today. Keep changing and keep growing and doing something different, and I want you to do the same. The show is just about Temple of Know Thyself, knowing who you are, and I reasoning, just having a conversation to bring out the best out of you the same way I want to bring the best out of me. That's what I'm saying. It's just a mirror. I'm just talking to myself. And who have ears to hear, may your life have abundance and blessings. May your head be anointed and your cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life as you dwell on this earth. I don't want you to go to heaven, but this is our heaven here. While we're here, let's make the most of it, because we only have one opportunity. And that's why I'm looking forward to the end of this 8 weeks, to see for myself what I have manifested. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And it shall be done, because it states, and I'm being practical about it, ask and do the work, and it should be given unto me and to you. And that's why I'm doing the work. That's why, to the best of my ability, I turn up, I put the work in and show up, because it's only one life we have. So my people, I have to go and deal with my cough. So you have a blessed and wonderful Sunday. Take care. I love you. And we look forward to next week Sunday to see what we're going to have a little reason about. And wherever you're going through, just be open-minded and just know within yourself you can overcome it. The challenges that you have is either going to make you or break you. So that's it, my friends and family. Have a blessed and wonderful Sunday. Take care. I love you. And stay blessed. Enjoy your Sunday. Summer is coming, Make the most of it. Make the most of it. Take care. God bless. Enjoy.